Hi, I'm Mr. Plume, I'm Director of Maths.
And I'm Mr. Thompson, Director of Digital Media.
This week the focus is very much on working on your fancy share trader portfolios, and more on that in a minute. But first of all, Mr. Thompson, what's this nation states thing you've been talking about?
Nation states, in a nutshell, is your chance to make decisions that change the lives of people in an entire nation. Basically, every PL group has been given their own nation, and each week when you log into it, you're giving a range of issues to deal with. For example, you may be asked whether you think it's right that in your nation capital punishment is brought back, or whether everyone has to vote as a matter of course, it has to be compulsory. Or we may have things to do, for example, would you like to see nuclear power adopted as the main source of energy in your country, which ties in quite nicely with what we've got going on in the...
That's right. I've been thinking about companies who are making the effort to go green and companies who've got a corporate responsibility. Do you know that in the past, if you worked for Marks and Spencers, they used to pay for a hairdresser to come in to cut your hair?
Is that right?
This is one of the perks of working for Marks and Spencers. It was kind of like their sort of thing they did for the staff just to keep them sweet. And these days, other companies have got big things they do with staff. So, for example, Norwich Union, or Aviva as they're now called, send some of their teams of staff out to do work in the community, like renovate sort of old buildings, that sort of thing, for the community to use. So what I want people to do this week with their portfolios is have a think about companies which either do something good for the environment or do something good for the community, and have a think about how you can integrate some of those companies into your portfolio. And also companies with carbon footprint. I guess that comes up in the nation states game.
Yeah, it does, absolutely. And we all know that looking after the environment is really important, because ultimately it's the environment that looks after us. And so, yeah, I think that could be a really good take on it, if we could also look at companies that have a responsibility.
You've got all kinds of things like carbon offset and that sort of thing, which is happening at the moment. So people can, they can offset their carbon use, or they can kind of minimise their carbon use. Those kind of things are getting really important as the government looks to tax more things like carbon emissions.
You can pay that actually on flights. I booked flights recently for the summer holiday, and I was asked if I wanted to offset my carbon footprint. And apparently, if I donated an extra £20, they'd plant a tree.
So they plant a tree somewhere which eats up something.
Which eat up the CO2 from my flight emissions, which I thought was a really good idea.
Did you go for that?
No, I didn't. No, I had to book the luggage on as well, so I couldn't afford I couldn't afford the tree.
Should we care about carbon footprint? Does it matter that a company's green? Does it matter they recycle stuff? I mean, should that be important to us?
I think so. Obviously, Great Britain as a country is really, really small, and you compare us to someone like India, China, America, who are really, really large. Obviously, their carbon output is a lot greater than ours. But I think we have a responsibility, not just globally, but locally as well. We should make sure that we look after our local environment. Never mind the global environment, but think about litter at school. We have a real big push, and it's important to keep our environment clean. And if we look after the local environment, and if everyone else looked after the local environment, I think the global issues would be a lot easier to solve.
So I'm going to send PL tutors a couple of links to some websites where you can read about green issues and carbon offsetting, that kind of stuff, and look to diversify your portfolios a bit, just to include those kind of businesses in.
Yep. And next week you'll have a range of issues to discuss during your PL time when you play nation states. Awesome.
We've also got, just a reminder, we've got the Scratch competition, which is coming up. We're coming up towards the deadline now, so we'll be getting the shortlist of things together. I think you're worth your weight in gold, Mr. Thompson. I think you're awesome.
Thank you very much.
Do you know what I think? I just want to tell that.
What do you want?
Well, no. What I was thinking was the first student who can come to me, just the first student, and tell me what their value would be if they were made out of pound coins. So think about your weight. Think about the weight of a pound coin. Tell me how much you'd be worth in pound coins, and there'll be a prize and offer if you come and find me in the academy and tell me that.
Will the prize be the cash value?
Possibly not, but there'll be some sort of nice prize for them. Maybe something, a gaming stamp or something.
Ah, excellent.
Right. Until next week. Thanks very much.
Bye bye.